Trojan family, what's up, man? USCJ here. It's the top of the morning. I hope everybody is getting ready to get up, get out, and make some things happen this morning. Listen, we got to talk about Clay Helton and Coach Lincoln Riley, how their records are very, very similar. Both at 17-5, coming in, through 22 games. And Coach Riley, look, we got a lot of questions to answer. And look, let me state this first and foremost, off the top in this video. I'm all for Coach Riley. I think Coach Riley is the future for USC football. I think Coach Riley is the very innovative coach. I think he's accomplished more than a lot of coaches at the age of 40 right now. But I think he's at a crossroads right now. And I think that Coach Riley has to make a clear decision and make a sound decision as it relates to the future of USC football. To be basically tied up with Clay Helton at 17-5 through 22 games, and Clay Helton did win a Rose Bowl against Penn State. Also, Clay Helton did take the team to the Fiesta Bowl against Ohio State. Lost that game, pretty somewhat of a close game, like 21-7 or something like that. But Clay Helton, to have that same type of record, a lot of fans are going to ask, what's the difference? Well, I think the difference is this: the difference is going to be an innovative mind like Coach Riley, but he's at a place right now where a decision has to be made. And you guys already know, those who's been with me for a while now know that I've always maintained that Coach Riley and Coach Grinch, they're great friendship or whatever. But I said, let's give Coach Riley, let's give Coach Grinch an opportunity to get his full recruiting season, to get his full recruiting class. Last year, that was the argument that I made, given the fact that Coach Grinch didn't have a Caleb Williams. I always said this, didn't have a Caleb Williams on offense, on the defensive side. So I said, let's get our staff in. Now we got great players that are a great freshman class that I think is going to produce to be something special. Braylon Shelby, Sam Green, all these different guys. However, we're not seeing so many guys being utilized. So with that being said, I think it's at this time that it's time for Coach Riley just to really to cut the ties. As much as I hate to say it, I'm not for just getting anybody's job, but at the end of the day, the numbers, we're going to look at the numbers. The numbers are pretty much there, man. We had to deal with it last year. We had a little bit tighter of a defense. And look, we can't put it all on Coach Grinch. Coach Riley, we got to talk about, the clock management thing has got to be better. The play calling, we need Coach Riley to get back to the play calling that we know he's able to do and really focus. A lot of times when you got so much going on, when you're trying to make sure the defense is right, the offense is right, it probably takes his focus off the offense like the Coach Riley that we know. And so he's going to have to completely focus on the offense the way I know he's able to focus on it, because he's always had outstanding offenses. But to be able to have to focus on all of it, the defense, offense, all of it at the same time, I don't think right now that needs to be his focus. His focus needs to be primarily, of course, on the team. But you put a defensive coordinator. A coordinator is one who manages the whole defense. Now, I think we do have some good pieces on that side, like a Coach Sean Newell, of course, and then like a Coach Roy Manning. Those guys, they look like they're coaching their guys up, absolutely coaching their guys up. And of course, you look at other aspects of it, man. So at this point, you got to wonder, when we see Braylon Shelby in coverage, covering the running back, it's unacceptable, man. But it keeps happening time after time. And then we had somewhat of a defense. USC could have won that game against Stanford. Lincoln Riley, he kicked the field goal as if we can depend on it. And it's not the players. Let me get that straight. We got good players, but it's the play calling. Like, he kicks the field goal as if we can depend on the play calling, and the play calling has been suspect all year long. At times he makes adjustments, like during the Notre Dame game, and then he reverts back to what he was. And so at this point, I got love for Coach Grinch, but at the end of the day, when you look at it from this perspective, business is business. Something has got to change, man. Something has got to change. And I know, when you get relationships involved, I think that's why I think Coach Riley is at a crossroads right now. When relationships are involved, I think it becomes a very, very difficult thing. I can see that. I'm not just cutthroat where I can't see the relationship aspect, but I can see that. You brought him over from Oklahoma, and it's a difficult thing. That's your friend. It's probably your best friend. Who knows? But so I get that. I'm not that insensitive to where I don't see that and I don't understand that. I totally get that. But at the end of the day, you got to ask yourself, because number one, USC fans and the media and the alumni, they're not going to allow and accept what we see right now, the product on the field from a defensive perspective. USC, Pete Carroll, you got to understand. I mean, they had strong defenses, and you got to look at this. Pete Carroll went 6-6 his first year. His second year, he went 11-2. He got better, but to really have an 11-3 year the first year, and then the second year you just kind of regress, and the defense is like pretty much exactly the same. You got to ask yourself questions. You have to look at yourself in the mirror and say, look, I know this is a tough decision. Every tough coach, every great coach had to at one point make some tough decisions, and at the end of the day, you have to do what's best for the program. And I mean, he's just not getting it done. And if you really think that he's getting it done, you have to ask yourself that. Now, somebody say, look, Jay, what about the recruits? I've woke up Sunday morning after a game. I'm not going to mention his name. A recruit text me. So, he's still on board. And it's good to know that he's on board. He plays cornerback. And look, if we get a good, I think he loves the brand. I think he's a USC guy, period. And you got some guys that are like that. They love the brand. They love USC football. And but if we hire the right guy, someone who's going to teach technique, someone who's a good defensive coordinator, they're going to stick with the brand. But at this point, we got to roll the punches and do what's best for the program, do what's best for you, Lincoln Riley, as your head coach, as your legacy, as your name. And I hear a lot of people say, well, he's going to the NFL. Well, I think he should have went to the NFL straight out of Oklahoma. To me, that was his best opportunity. Now, I believe that they're looking at you as from a managing standpoint and say, look, what do we really have? So we're going to talk about, we're going to look at some numbers real quick. I want to go into and see exactly what we're talking about from a defense. And as you see here, the record versus Utah, it's 4-2 and it's 0-3 for both coaches. Their first few years at USC, and I mean it's just really it's kind of an alarming thing. I mean, he went 0-3. We played him in the Pac-12 championship, played him twice last year, and then this year a very winnable game. Both games are winnable. Of course, we know Caleb got hurt in the championship game, but it's just unacceptable. And Coach Riley, like I said, much love to you. But to have this, I mean, Clay Helton to have a better record against Utah than you is kind of saying something. So let's take a look at some of these defensive numbers. And I want to take a look at something that really caught my eye as well. All right, so here's where USC currently stands in the country right now at defense, 104. UNLV and UNLV has a better defense than statistically wise than USC. They don't have the better athletes, but the scheme is making it all up. But 104, we're tied with Cal, man, who we happen to play this weekend. So those are going to be the statistical numbers. But this is what really caught my eye right here. When you look at the number 11 ranked in the country, it's going to be UCLA. And I just said, wow, man. I mean, UCLA, Chip Kelly, who's an offensive genius, just like Lincoln Riley. But Lincoln Riley has to make that decision to be able to get somebody like this. I would even argue, say, go after somebody like this. I mean, he's in the same city. Well, make it easy. I mean, I know a lot of people say Jim Leonard, but, this defense is sitting at number 11 right now. Why not go after somebody that has this type of defense right now, sitting here with the extremely good resume right now, man? I mean, it's incredible. And this is him right here, DeAnthony Lynn, man, defensive coordinator for UCLA. He's doing an outstanding job. I mean, all we asking for is a decent defense, somebody who can scheme our guys. There's no way you can tell me. We got Bear Alexander. We got guys that came over like a Keon Bars. We got guys like Jack Sullivan, all these guys that came over and they just completely disappeared. And it's like, it's just a very, very weird thing. Instead of starting Keon Bars and Bear, you're starting guys that absolutely just, I'm flabbergasted when I think about some of the things that I see. I I tried to give him the benefit of the doubt, but just because I said that's the right thing to do. We want to give everybody the benefit of the doubt when it comes to getting their players. And I feel like with the transfer portal and the freshman players that we had, I believe that the benefit of the doubt was given. And that's all I stated last year. I said, let's give them the benefit of the doubt. Now we see it. It's the same thing. And now at this point, you just got to wonder what Lincoln Riley is thinking. And he has a difficult decision ahead of him. He can't call the defense. Lincoln Riley was going to call it. No, man. I mean, get yourself somebody that's going to take the pressure off you where you can focus, because at this point, the offense is somewhat stagnated. And I believe you got so much pressure on you right now that you can't even focus on everything that you need to focus on. The play calling is absolutely different. You got too good of an offensive mind for our football team to be playing like this right now. I mean, so, man, look, you guys hit me in the comment section. You guys tell me what you think. Difficult decision ahead for Coach Lincoln Riley, but it is what it is. I think USC needs to absolutely somebody like this guy that's already in town. I mean, man, that would be incredible. Hit me in the comment section. I know Jen Cohen, she's going to do her due diligence along with Lincoln Riley to see that this thing is up to par. But look, man, until later on, everybody stay blessed. I'm out of here. Fight on, fight.